What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we have this 2010 Toyota Camry XLE. This is actually my family's and my very personal Camry XLE that we have owned for the past decade. And today I'm doing a very long-term 10-year review on this vehicle. I'm going to be showing you guys how well the exterior of these cars hold up, how well this one has held up for the past 10 years. Then I'm going to be showing you how well the interior of this car has held up for the past 10 years. And then I'm going to be telling you guys about all the issues, if any, that this car has given us, to give you guys an idea if you should buy one of these used, and if they are good cars or not. And I'm also going to be doing driving impressions and everything good and bad about the driving feel of this vehicle 10 years later. So for all of that, stay tuned. Okay, so starting off with the design of this vehicle, I just quickly want to say that this is one of my favorite generations of Camry. Very nice and subtle look, not overly sporty and not overly boring. But starting off with the front exterior of this vehicle, very first thing you'll notice right off the bat is fogged up lights. These are starting to become fogged up and you're starting to see some yellowing occur on these lights. Very small issue. It does ruin the look of the front of the vehicle, but a very small issue that most cars do have around this age. But it's an easy fix, but it's still worth noting. And the fog lights, on the other hand, do not have this issue. Very clean, no yellowing or fogging up. And also, one thing to note is that this car has no accidents, so nothing has been repainted or rebuilt. You are seeing it in its natural state. And you're going to see all the issues as we work our way to the side here. You will notice that the rims, some of this is dirt, but they have started to wear out a little bit. As you can see, the polish is starting to come off. But it is a very small fix. And as we work our way up, side of the car is very clean overall. Nothing went wrong over the 10 years exterior wise with the body of this car. One huge thing to note though is, and this is the only major issue, is this. This is obviously started peeling off, and it is cracking in the C-pillar of this car. Very bad, because within a couple months to a year, this thing can actually be a huge brown spot of rust. As you can see, rust is also building up inside. And that would definitely not look beautiful at all if there was a huge brown patch of rust over there. So that's the only issue we've had as far as the exterior of this car goes. Rear of the car is very clean. Paint and everything is very high quality. Obviously the chrome outline for the XLE model. And exterior wise, that pretty much is it. Very few issues. Fogged up lights and the rust patch is really all that I have to complain about. Okay, and now for the interior of this car. Overall, the interior has held up very well as well. Obviously you have the wood trimming for the XLE model. But overall, for a 10-year-old car that's not even a luxury brand, the interior of this car looks very nice. If you were to cover that Toyota badge and show someone this interior who doesn't really know much about cars, they might actually even think that it is a luxury car. It looks very nice in here for a 10-year-old car. But anyways, as far as issues with the interior of this car goes, obviously this also depends on how well you've taken care of the car. This car is about in the middle. It hasn't been taken overly good care of, and it also hasn't been treated like trash. It's about in the middle. And overall, the side, the door panels, very clean. You have no rips or anything from daily use over here. One thing I will mention though is the seats here. They're starting to wrinkle a little bit, and if you look down here, you'll have some cracks just from daily usage. Nothing major. It's just an issue that most cars will have that have leather seats over time. One little bit bigger issue is right here. This thing has started to rip a little bit, and unfortunately it might actually, whenever leather rips, it does tend to keep ripping and spreading up. So hopefully, praying that this rip here stays like that. But if it does become bigger, it could be an issue. And same story here. Really, the seats are the only very small issue with this car. Everything else works. Same story. in the back seats here. Very good condition for a 10-year-old car. These seats will not rip if you are buying an old car, a 10 or 11-year-old version of one of these. So seats is the only small issue, but even that is not that big of an issue because they do not rip and wear out as much over time. And now for the issues that we've had with this vehicle. The very first thing is the battery. That went bad, so recently that was replaced. And as you can see, we have some of these lights on. We have the brake lights and also the traction control. These lights, this is actually not an issue with the car. So these Camrys actually have issues for, you know, some of these sensors. We actually thought there was issues with these things in the car, so we went and took it to the dealership, to the mechanic, and they checked everything out and they told us there's no issue. The issue is actually the sensor itself. So the sensors, these cars are known for having not the highest quality, not the best sensors. So that is one downside of this vehicle. If you get a used one, you might be having your sensors going off for no reason, even though that issue does not exist, which is kind of bad because sometimes if you do have that issue, you might think, oh, it's just a sensor. So if you do own one of these, definitely make sure if your sensor is showing that it is not an actual issue, because obviously if it's an actual issue and you just keep driving on it, worse things can happen. But that's one small downside of this vehicle. But again, it's not anything with the engine or transmission, and so that's the good thing. It's not anything with the engine or the transmission, and just small issues like that. And overall, reliability wise, very good. We've had no issues with the engine or transmission whatsoever. These cars are just really solid, very well built. But anyways, thank you guys for watching up till here. Now let's get straight into the driving impressions. Okay, so we are in the 2010 Toyota Camry XLE. This is the 4-cylinder version, inline 4. And it's kind of sad because this is probably my last time, or one of my last times driving it, because we are selling this car very soon. But you know, just sitting here cruising 45-50 miles an hour. Car is very quiet and smooth, just like you'd expect. But one downside is that you do hear some air and road noise from the outside. When this car was newer, I did not hear as much road noise and air noise as I do now. So it has worn out a little bit. That is one downside, definitely. But overall, driving wise, when the gears shift, you don't feel it. It's very smooth. Like I said, only downside would be the air and road noise that you do feel in this car. But it's really not that bad. Obviously, this is no Mercedes-Benz. This is no Lexus. You're not going to get that type of cushioning in your ride. You're not going to get that type of sound insulation. But for what this car is so good, and over the 10 years, it has done very well for me and my family. And I would definitely buy this car over again if I could. And if you guys are in the market for one of these used, definitely consider it. Very nice car, very comfortable. Sitting here in the seats, you have very nice support on your middle back, lower back. Seats are very nice, definitely more comfortable than most cars of this segment for this year. And picking up here, picks up quite nicely, very nice. Obviously it's no AMG, so it's not going to pick up that fast. Around corners here, it's a little bit of body roll, not too bad. After 10 years, like I said, the only type of issue that this car has is the slight air noise, but it's really not that bad. You can get over it. The sensors, but yeah, cruising here 50 miles an hour right now, very nice and smooth. You don't feel the gear shifts at all. You're just chilling. I've said this so many times over and over again, but I'll say it again, no issues. Only thing is the air noise and the road noise, very slight too. That's it. But overall, to conclude this video, this car has been so good for us. No engine, no transmission issues, nothing ever. Only the battery issue and small things here and there. So if you guys are in the market, and this car will still last us up to 200,000 to 300,000 miles. Only reason we're getting rid of it is because it's 10 years old now. Another small thing is that the steering wheel is a little bit thin. I wish it was a little bit thicker. But overall, fantastic quality in this car. Only small issues. If you can get past like the sensors, Just make sure to get the car checked regularly. If you can get past the super small air noise that develops in the car when it gets older, this car is perfect for you, and I definitely recommend it. And I'm gonna miss this car. Very nice car, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Okay, and that concludes the review. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, go ahead and give the video a like and subscribe to the channel. I hope I was able to give you guys some knowledge today about these cars. Overall, highly recommended. It has no issues at all, pretty much. Even the small things that I mentioned, every car will have that anyways. So overall, very nice car, very reliable. And if you buy one of these used, you can't go wrong. Thank you so much for watching and have a great day.